Jubilees in the elevator lighting, which looks pretty awesome. Hey everybody, it is Doug. I'm just enjoying a coffee here, kind of like, what's that British guy's name? I think it's Justin or Julian or something. But gonna go over two of my watches, and more specifically, their Jubilee bracelets. It's a big gorgeous day here in the Carolinas. There's my coffee. I'm just gonna be sitting down and hanging out. But once again, I have two Jubilee bracelets. One is on my Datejust 41, and the other one is on my new Batman, or the BLNR. And obviously one is a sport Rolex, and the other one is from their classic line, which actually still is a sport watch. It's just a little bit dressier. And of course, I think both of them are absolutely stunning. And here we are looking at them in the shade, which, once again, they just really come out so nicely. But if we go over there to the sunlight, that's when the Jubilees really start to sparkle. And whenever you turn them, of course, those 5 links, they just capture the light in so many different ways. And on the sport bracelet, of course, same thing. So kind of coming on this side, it just glistens. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, it's the morning show that has Ryan Seacrest, and I think her name is Kelly Ripa. He wears the Pepsi version of this, and it just sparkles like diamonds on that television show, and just kind of funny. But like I said, here's the two in the sunlight, and of course the blue dial looks absolutely fantastic on this Datejust 41. The clasps are a little bit different. In fact, let me sit down and show you the difference between the two. Now, if you've ever watched any of my videos before, I always end up putting clear tape on my clasps, just because I don't want them to get scratched. But the classic version just has a hinged. Hi.
Hi.
Whereas the sport version, this is kind of weird doing this through the camera, but there's actually a fold over. So you've got, like, you do have a hinge, but whenever you flip it, you have the oyster lock. So this one has the oyster lock and the oyster clasp, and this one just has the oyster clasp. So once again, there's no flip over. Both are pretty secure, but there is no doubt that the sport clasp is so much nicer. I love how that flips over. If I were Rolex, I would kind of, like, even on the Datejust, I would do that, because I just think that would be really, really sweet. So both watches actually wear the Jubilee really, really nicely. Things that the Jubilee offers over the oyster, because I do have a Submariner, which has the brushed oyster. These are more comfortable. They are dramatically lighter. It's amazing how much lighter the Jubilee bracelet is. Now, on the sport version, it actually does, because the bracelet's so light, the top of the watch, you know, the actual watch case itself, it feels a little bit more almost top heavy, if you will. Whereas whenever I'm wearing my sub, because the bracelet is so much heavier, it feels more balanced. But this is lighter, and it also is more comfortable. So it seems kind of weird, but there's pluses and minuses to both, you know, both bracelets. But whereas on this one, the case is not very heavy at all. So this watch just kind of disappears on your wrist. I mean, it's so light. There is no doubt the Jubilee is 100% for the Datejust is the way I would go, compared to like the oyster, which you can do. I think this is absolutely the way to go with the Datejust 41. And with the sport watch, if this was just a single watch, I would go for it with the Jubilee, because it makes it dressier, but it's still sporty. And you could wear this watch in any scenario or situation, whether it's a black tie affair, a suit, dress casual, blue jeans, shorts, and it just does everything with such elegance, especially for a GMT. I mean, I think this is the kind of watch that if I lived in Positano, Italy, and I was hanging out, or Monaco or someplace like that, and during the day I was, you know, in my swim trunks on the Mediterranean swimming and hanging out at the beach, and then that same evening wearing this same watch, you know, I could go to the casino in Monte Carlo and not feel out of dress. So this truly is, for a single watch, like the perfect cosmopolitan traveler, world sophisticate type watch. It's rugged, it's sporty. Of course, it goes down 100 meters, and, you know, for water resistance, it looks so freaking sweet. But it is a little dressy, and I know a lot of guys and a lot of girls like the real kind of more toolish look of, like, say, a straight up sub, which I do too. But like I said, that looks fantastic. This looks absolutely wonderful. And once again, I'm wearing blue jeans right now, and I think this watch looks totally awesome. So there's my two Jubilees. They both work so nicely. If you ever have a chance to get a Rolex with a Jubilee, it's something that, I mean, it's not just getting the watch, it's also trying the different bracelets that they have. The Jubilee is an absolute winner. So I hope you all are doing well. Bye.